So let me just explain to you what I mean by that. So this speaker identification module that I talked about here, right, I am going to now essentially pass the speech signal, right. Any speech signal, I am assuming for the timing that is coming from only one speaker, we will come to it what to do. Okay. Then we are going through this speaker embedding extractor. This is identical or similar to what you would do with the wave to vec, which we did last class, right. So the wave to vec feature was used in the last class. Here I am going to use the E.Khapra TDNN from SpeechBrain, and then I am going to get one feature, okay, one vector. Okay. So this is a vector that identifies a particular human being, okay, a particular speaker. Okay. So this can be Ram, this can be Venkatakrishnan, this can be Mitesh Gupta, this can be whatever it is, Gaurav Sinha, whatever it is. So it can be anyone, or Rajalakshmi, or Ankita, or whatever, anybody that so it has to identify these different speakers, right. So it's like a face recognition problem, except that now you are using speech. So it's a voice which is used to recognize the person. Okay. So surprisingly, so if you recall, in the heights and weights problem, right, I had some kind of a representation or vectors, right, for children, then there was some representation for women and some representation for men, right. So this was the height and this was the weight, right. The height and the weight itself is a two-dimensional vector, right. So this is basically it is height 1 and weight 1, right, for one human being. Height 2 and weight 2 is a measurement for another human being. Height 3 and weight 3 is a measurement for another human being, right. Now I can ask whether these two vectors, how close they are. If they are very close, then we assume that they belong to the same class, right. So remember that we did this actually as a way to identify or classify a particular height and weight. So if I got a test measurements T1 and T2, and if that T1 and T2 was at this particular spot, and we had reference vectors here here and here, I measured the distance, right. This distance, and whichever was the closest, I said that this test vector belongs to that particular class. So we measured the closeness in terms of Euclidean distance, right, Euclidean distance, right. What do you mean by Euclidean distance? It is, if I have two vectors, let us say h1 or whatever x1, which had measurements x11 and x21, and another vector y1 which was y11 and y21, then we say that the closeness is nothing but this norm that we are talking about, right. So which is nothing but x11 minus y11 squared plus x21 minus y21 squared, right. That is basically the length or the difference between the two vectors, the length of the difference between the two vectors. This is called the Euclidean distance. Okay. This is one way of measuring. Another way of measuring is, so if you look at vectors, you can also look at vectors that you do not want to be influenced by the length of the vector. So if I have two vectors like this, x1 and y1, okay, we can say that two vectors are very similar if their angle is very small, and they are very far apart if their angle is big. Okay. So the angle between the two vectors is another way of measuring the distance between the two vectors. This angle we use so here it is obviously influenced by the lengths of the two vectors. So whereas in the angle, right. So for example, if I have x1 so large and y1 so small, even though the angle between them is similar, you will see this Euclidean distance for the left one is going to be big when compared to the Euclidean distance for the right combination. Okay, that is because one of the vectors is very long compared to the other one. Sometimes the angle is a better way of measuring the similarity between two quantities. Okay, it all depends. We will see for speaker identification, it often happens that the angle is a better measurement, and so I can then use, how do I measure the angle between these two? You must have studied in 12th standard the cosine, the dot product basically. So, you basically have cos theta is what x1 transpose y1, right, the dot product of x1 and y1, right. So, you would have studied somewhere this kind of ideas, right. So, when the angle is 0, that means they are lying on top of each other, right. So, this angle is said to be 0 or very small if y1 and x1 are very close to each other, the angle is almost 0, then cosine of 0 is closer to 1. So, then the cosine becomes a very, very big number. Okay. So, this is called the cosine distance. Okay. So, you could have Euclidean distance as one way of comparing vectors, or you can have cosine distance as another way of comparing vectors. Okay. Now, therefore, if I am doing some kind of a comparison between speakers, I first take the waveform for every speaker, extract the speaker embedding vector, and then let us say, now let me go to a fresh page so that I can get some idea. So, let us say that I have 3 vectors, one is speaker 1, another is speaker 2, another is speaker 3. Okay. All of these are coming as outputs from the speaker extractor. Okay. Speaker embedding extractor. Okay. So, given the audio signal, you will pass it through this network again. Again we are going to borrow some already pre-trained such networks to make our job easier, and these we look at cosine distance between these vectors or speaker embedding. Okay. So, suppose the S1, this is a cosine distance, let us say between S1 and S2. Remember, I can just do S1 transpose S2 by S1 S2. Okay. Then, if this S1 is smaller than S1 S3, then we say S1 and S3 are closer to, sorry, which is smaller. Sorry, that means S1 is more closer to S2 compared to S3. So, S1 and S2 are more closer to each other, maybe they are coming from the same speakers compared to S1 and S3. Okay. And similarly, I can compare S2 and S3 also, and then if now I have 3 measurements. So, S1, S2 cosine distance, S1, S3 cosine distance, and S2, S3 cosine distance. Okay. I take the whichever is the minimum and say those two vectors are very similar to each other. Okay. So, this is essentially what we mean by cosine distance. Okay. Now, how is all of this related to how are we going to solve the speaker diarization problem? Okay. So, if you recall, I am doing 2 things now. So, my problem is speaker diarization. To solve who spoke when, right. That is what I want to discuss, correct. I want to discuss who spoke when. I am going to do it in a fashion that is going to involve first the speech signal. So, this is step 1, I will do speech signal. I will pass it through whisper, which is from OpenAI, and that is going to give me 2 minutes 0 seconds to 2 minutes 7 seconds. This is a test. Then 2 minutes 07 to 2 minutes 15 seconds, good test, something, right. So, it is going on. Then what I am going to do, Okay, I should have done it a little better. Then the next step is I am going to take each of these audio clips. So 2 minutes 7 or 2 minute 2 to 2 minutes 7, I am going to give it through a speaker extractor and get one embedding. Okay, so let's say this is embedding 1. Okay, embedding 1 vector. Then 2 minutes 7 to 2 minutes 15. I'm going to assume that each one of this is an assumption, is spoken by only one person. Okay, and then again the speaker embedding extractor comes and I'll get a vector 2. Of course, these distances or these time intervals need not be identical, need not be of same duration, but the embedding extractor is taking the average. We assume speaker does not change over that duration, and therefore we assume that I am only capturing the average characteristics, and that is well captured by the embeddings irrespective of the duration. Okay, so then it can be 215 to 225, 227. How are you? Okay, so these could have been spoken by same speakers or different speakers. I don't know that. Okay, so then again, I am going to take this 215 to 227. Again, I am going to get embedding 1. Now, how do I know are these two same speaker or different speaker? Are these two same speaker or different speaker? Are these two same speaker or different speaker? Okay. What am I going to do? I am going to use simple cosine distance. Okay. And I am going to set some thresholds. If E1 and E2 are close, or another way of doing it is, if I don't want to use thresholds, I have to have some idea about how many speakers are there in the system. Okay, so there might be only 4 speakers. Let's say a priori I have an idea. If I don't have, it's an additional complication. We have to estimate the number of speakers and go about doing it. In our problem, we'll make it very simple. We'll assume we know the number of speakers, right? So the problem now becomes that I have, right, a long audio recording for about an hour. Okay. Okay. Now my whisper is giving me boundaries like this. Whisper is saying this is one boundary, okay, or segment 1. Okay. Then from here to here is segment 2. From here to here is segment 3. From here to here is segment 4. From here to here is segment 5. From here to here is segment 6, and from here to here is segment 7. Okay, something like this. Whisper. Remember, whisper gives me information that is sort of time stamped, right? It says this particular words were spoken from this time. So I am not going to use the speech to text part of it. I am not going to take that into account. I am not interested in that in my particular problem here. All that I am interested is this. From this I will extract through my speaker embedding extractor E1. Okay, through my embedding extractor here I will extract my E.Khapra TDN embedding vector 2. From this, from here I will extract E3. Okay, from here I will extract E4. From here I will extract E5, E6 and E7. Okay. Now I am going to use a concept called agglomerative clustering. Okay.